Good morning. Welcome to Expert Insights. I'm your host, Raju Mandhyan. Here at Expert Insights, we take external views of internal successes by foreigners, expats, and immigrants who have made Philippines their home. Tonight, we have two guests. One looks like a Filipino, the other one's a Filipina, and we are going to talk about the subject matter of beauty, quote-unquote beauty, beauty inside out. My first guest, a lady from England, and she looks very much Filipina. Her name is Joanne Weston. She's an MBTI coach, and that means a Myers-Briggs type indicator coach. And she's going to tell us about, we're going to talk about beauty inside with Joanne. Joanne, welcome to Expert Insights.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
So Joanne, hello little daughter of Joanne. Your name's Scarlett, right? Say yes. Joanne, tell us a bit about yourself and the work you do.
Okay, so a little bit about myself, firstly. I'm from England originally.
Yes.
We've been actually living in the Philippines for 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I arrived 12 years ago with my husband and a dining table. And now I have two kids. This is one of them, two dogs, and a house full of things.
Dining tables.
So not dining tables, but things. So yes, we've definitely made the Philippines our home. So
Oh, I thought when people reproduce themselves, so do dining tables. They don't. They don't.
They don't.
So, MBTI coach.
Right.
But wait, you don't look English, or you look a bit Filipino.
Correct.
So would you like to tell me a bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So my mother is from Hong Kong. She's Hong Kong Chinese.
Okay.
And my father passed away, but he was from the West Indies, so Indian West Indies. And they met in London.
Wow, so
Yeah.
that's such a
Fell
global
in love,
mix.
and here I am.
So 12 years in the Philippines.
Yeah.
What to you is more fun in the Philippines?
Oh.
What to you
What
is the most
more
fun?
fun? You know, I'm not sure about more fun because I've never raised children anywhere else.
Okay.
But when I go back to a normal, quote-unquote, country,
Okay.
certainly, you know, parenting is more difficult.
In other countries.
Right, because you know we're lucky enough to have help.
Oh yeah.
So I'm sure parenting is fun.
Yeah.
In the US or the UK, Europe.
Yeah.
But I think it's more difficult. So for us, we're
Challenging, yes.
living here and having our family has allowed us to have, you know, more of a social life.
Yeah, right.
And, perhaps,
And also
you
be
know,
able to give a lot more attention to the kids because you have so much support.
That's right. Right.
Hey, that makes up for Scarlett. Welcome to the Philippines, Scarlett. Hello. So MBTI coach, and let's talk
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, I started out my career as a trainer. So I was working for a high-tech company for a long time and doing IT training, so teaching people how to use software. And then, you know, I don't know whether it was with age or maturity, but I realized that I wanted to make more of a difference to people. And so I retrained as a coach, firstly as a coach with the International Coach Federation. And then I got certified in MBTI, so the Myers-Briggs type indicator. Mainly because MBTI is a great tool for helping us to understand what our natural personality style is, in terms of where we like to get our energy, where we focus our energy. Are we more outward focused or are we inward focused? How do we learn? Are we more big picture learners or do we like details and facts? How do we make decisions? Do we make decisions using criteria, pros and cons, objective analysis? Or do we use them with a much more value-centered, people-focused process? And then the last one is, you know, are we spontaneous and flexible, or are we very structured and planful? And so knowing where you sit, where you're predisposed when you're born on all of those dimensions,
Types, yeah?
Yeah, it helps you to understand where your strengths are and where your weaknesses are. So that's in terms of work life. So what do you like as a leader? What do you like as a team player? How do you communicate with your co-workers? But I've also found, and that's why I did it, to help my corporate clients. I found personally that it's really helped all aspects of my life.
Making decisions, making choices.
Yeah, and just knowing, so I know what my preferences are, but it also helps you to appreciate what other people
Deal
are.
with other people, yeah.
So
Deal
appreciating other people's differences, which is a huge source of conflict, but doesn't have to be.
You threw in two of the languages of people development. One is the word coach.
Yeah.
I mean, though we understand coach, many
Right.
people think it's a football coach.
Right.
And then the fact you threw in MBTI, which is Myers-Briggs type indicator.
Right.
So quickly, I mean, I've had several guests on this show talk about coaching, but every time I talk about coaching, people go, "What's that?" So you want to tell us what is that?
So it's I mean, it's a very relevant question, because coaching, as you said, it can be quite directive.
Football, yeah.
Yeah, and it can be, my approach to coaching with my clients is really one of helping managers to engage with their teams. And you do that because, you know, engagement is a big problem at the moment in terms of productivity. If a workforce, if a team is engaged, they're going to be more productive.
Right.
And equally, if they're engaged, they're actually going to stay there longer. So retention is a big problem.
Deliver more.
Right.
Deliver more.
Exactly. So coaching is a way to get that engagement. And the coaching that I teach and facilitate is one where you're not telling someone what to do, you're helping them to figure it out themselves. And so
you're evoking it out of them.
Yes. It's all about listening, and powerful listening, reflecting what, you know, what maybe if you're a manager, reflecting what your team member is saying to you, but also powerful questioning. So asking them as opposed to telling them. And you know, going back to your natural preference, it doesn't come naturally to a lot of people to ask questions.
That sounds a bit weird. Go ahead.
So to a lot of us, it's much more natural to tell people what to do.
Oh, yeah. I know that. I've experienced that. So lots of people tell me what to do.
Your wife tells you what to do?
Sometimes she requests me what to do.
Right.
And I oblige right away.
Right, right.
So now, MBTI is one of the assessment tools on figuring out what kind of people we are dealing with. There are so many across the world.
Right.
I can't even name them. There are so many, you know. So what makes MBTI special for you?
Yeah, I mean, as you said, there are lots of different variations. Some are in terms of colors. Some give you like a name of expressive or you know, a term. MBTI for me.
Obsessive compulsive.
Obsessive compulsive. To me, MBTI, I mean, firstly, it's the most well-known. It's the most popular. So it's used by most of the Fortune 500 companies.
Right.
So it has the brand and the respect and the validity. And what I like personally is that it's very, very well researched. So there are
compared to most others, or
you know, others are well researched too, but MBTI has. I mean, there are so many books. My bookshelf is full of books focusing on different areas. So I've got one on type. So type is, you know, your preference. Type and relationships. So it can help with your, you know, your partners. I've got one on type and parenting. So, you know, it's helped me a lot with,
make it a lot more beautiful
with my parenting. So now I understand that we're very different. And we always will be different, but at least I know, you know, why, and I can nurture.
So it's quite parallel to multiple intelligences too. There's similarities.
Right,
there.
right, and it's and you know, these assessments don't necessarily work in isolation. So, so you can use
so
different
there are no
ones.
silos, no silos.
No silos.
Actually, there was a question on my mind. I was thinking there are 7 billion people on Earth. Half of them are women, and so many are kids. And if you start to type them, you have so many boxes. As it is, the world is divided into so many countries and cultures. Would you like to cut up the world some more? Does it make sense?
So does it make sense in terms of
kind of
categorizing?
Say, these are, yeah.
So I mean, that's one of the big resistances to MBTI and other you know, personality assessments. You know, it's not really categorizing, it's helping you to understand yourself. So we're not saying, you know, you are like this.
So it's not written in stone.
No, it's actually you, you're identifying your own strengths. And it doesn't mean you need to, you know, we're identifying our natural styles, but that is so that we establish a baseline for development. So you don't stay like that. You build on your strengths, but you also, of course, develop your weaknesses.
Oh, so let me try to rephrase that. Thus, you might be coming from anywhere in the world, and MBTI helps you figure out where you are, and then help you go where you want to go.
Right. And so, you know, we're all... No, it comes back to the work of Carl Jung, the psychologist. So his work basically applied to all humans wherever they are. Now, as I've been here, you know, working with multicultural teams, clearly an extrovert in the U.S.
Extrovert is one of the personality types.
Yeah. So an extrovert, and you know, everyone has an understanding of what an extrovert is. But an extrovert in MBTI terms from the US is going to look very different to an extrovert from the Philippines, for example, or from Japan.
Given the cultural impact.
Given the cultural influence. And so MBTI speaks to your natural preference, but then, of course, culture, schooling, your environment as you grow up, workplace, plays a huge role. So I think, you know, to your point that MBTI or any personality assessment helps one piece of the jigsaw. The other piece, of course, is your environment and culture.
Is your background.
Yeah.
Now, what is your process? How do you go about bringing the beauty out of me, or helping me get to where I want to go, or not just individuals but groups? What is your process? What's step 1 and what's step 5?
So there are different processes, but a typical process for a team, for example, might be that they will complete the assessment online.
Okay.
And then
a theme would be random, business, community, social, family, anything.
Could
5
be.
and up.
So in terms of age, it would probably be from around 14 and up. So newspaper.
So slightly matured.
Slightly mature. And certainly in terms of English proficiency. So they would complete the online assessment, and then I would take a look at those at the reports, and then we would do a workshop several days later, where I would help them to confirm what the report has identified as their preferences. So it would be definitely a facilitation, a coaching session, because what they wrote or what they filled in on the assessment is not necessarily, it could be just
the truth, because people can outsmart themselves and hey, I've been there, done this, I know the right answers.
If they're in the work environment, they would be thinking, okay, my boss would expect me to be like this. So it's definitely a coaching process. And then after that, we...
So it's a double-edged approach. It's one is they do it on their own, 2, they have a discussion.
Correct.
So coming
That's
to the right...
absolutely essential, the facilitation and coaching to back up and confirm what happened in the assessment. And then depending on the needs of the client or of the group, we'll focus on something like communication, leadership, decision making.
Whatever areas they need to build and grow upon. Now, share me a success story. I mean, you've done this for 12 years in the Philippines?
I haven't done that for 12 years. I've done this for probably about half of that.
6 years in the Philippines. So share me a success story, whether from Philippines or from...
Well, I'll share with you a couple.
A case study,
So the first, actually, a very recent case I had was where an expat manager was transferring from one area to another. So he was basically inheriting a new senior management team. And he wanted to get off on the right foot with them and get to know them very quickly, but also help them get to know each other. And of course, he wanted to showcase what his type of management was, which was...
One more time. So I'll ask you the right questions. So he wanted to move from one department to another,
so he was moving
slightly
from
higher position?
one plant. He was managing one plant, a factory.
Physically, actually.
Physically, when he was moving to a completely new team.
Yes.
And he was managing a new management team.
Right.
And so we did a workshop, similar to the one I just described, where it was all about, what is everyone's individual style. And so that helped them get to know him. He got to know them.
Right.
And everyone got to know each other. So it's very good for new teams that are forming to get to know each other, to start to figure out the dynamics between the team, the team strengths.
Have a handle on how to handle things. So where is he now, and how much time did the process take?
So I actually coached him as well for a while, and again we used MBTI, so that was individual. So the process took a day.
That's it?
With his team, took a day.
Yeah.
What I will do moving on is, revisit that team every few months to focus on different areas. Again, using Myers-Briggs because it, it relates to so many areas in the workplace.
So 1 day of interaction with him, but any pre-work and post-work analysis?
Yeah. So ideally, there is follow-on because in any there's a rule called the 70-20-10 rule in terms of workplace learning, where 70% of the learning actually happens on the job.
Right. 20%
comes from interaction with peers and mentors. And only 10% comes from an actual classroom activity. So definitely coaching is something that any organization should be moving towards, just to help them learn, on the job.
All right. Good.
So then the second success story is sitting next to me.
This little child over here, a beautiful Scarlett O'Hara look-alike.
Because, we're very different. And until I...
What do you mean we? You and I, or the rest
We're
of
probably
everybody?
extremely different.
Okay, there you go.
We'll find out later. But Scarlett and I are quite different.
Oh.
And now I understand, and I'm able to nurture her and give her the environment I need. And I know that it's not a personal thing, it's a natural thing. Right. So we can, we'll probably always fight, but at least I know, where it's coming from.
Oh, on that note, I'd like to ask you, how do you manage your husband, or lead your husband, or deal your husband? Are you different? Are you same? How do you type him, assess him, and tell him not to do stuff, or ask him to do stuff?
Luckily, I didn't have to actually administer the MBTI on him.
Never?
So, because he did it at work.
Okay.
And so it actually has, we're very similar.
Right.
And except for on one dimension. And so that dimension, it's a compromise, and it's, again, knowing why we're different on those on those dimensions is 90% to getting over the conflict, because we know it's not personal. It's our, we just approach
perceptions and style,
we just approach certain things in a different way. And so as long as you understand that, it's...
So is it okay for me to assume that no one's the boss in the house?
No one's the boss.
No one's the boss in the house.
Apart from this one, maybe.
Except for this lady here. Okay.
And our new puppy.
Joanne, we're on the subject matter of beauty inside and outside, and you've told us about how to assess people, how to manage them, no? But let's talk about beauty, quote unquote, looking good, feeling good, behaving good. So you want to talk about how to evoke that out of a person, how to make someone nicer, kinder, gentler, more successful inside, using what you do. What's your belief about that first, and what would be your strategies?
To be honest, no corporate client has come to me and said, help my team look more beautiful. That would be your next guest.
I guess my next guest should be
however, I really believe that knowing yourself and knowing what your strengths are helps your confidence. And so I see it every time, and that's what's so rewarding for me, is seeing people just much more confident in who they are. And they know now why they behave, why they act, why they're good at some things and why they're not so good in others. And that gives them extreme confidence. And I think confidence in someone, regardless of what they look like, is a very attractive quality.
Feature.
It's very, very attractive. So, giving people confidence, I think, is
the catalyst to their becoming beautiful. So confidence is your step. Now, how much has this affected you, yourself? I mean, you from 6 years ago, Joanne from 6 years ago, and Joanne today. Share that story, and then I think we could do a wrap-up on this subject matter.
Sure. We probably should ask someone else, not me.
Don't you have your own perception on how you are?
I mean, to my previous point, I feel much more confident. In myself, and I know what I'm good at. I know where I need to, develop my skills, and I feel very lucky, very blessed, because I'm actually, helping people. And I as I get older, I feel you know, a greater need, I guess, to help people, you know, get on better with their children, you know, just be more confident or get, you know, improve as a team. So all that is, you know, is improvement and on a very personal level that you can apply in all areas of your life. So.
Never in your lifetime, after becoming an MBTI coach and even prior to that, did you ever think to yourself that, hey, you know, this is way too complicated and I want to hang loose and I just want to go drink a couple of beers and play football and be a football coach and take it easy in life or just hang out somewhere, let my hair down. Did you ever
I do all that.
You do?
I do all that as well. Well, maybe don't coach. You know, when I started out as an MBTI coach, because it was so new, I found myself thinking about it all the time. And so I think at the beginning it was all-consuming. It's like anything. You start anything and you're very passionate about it. You can't stop thinking about it. And now, you know, I like to think that, you know, my approach has, you know, it's really become inbuilt in me. So I don't.
A way of life.
Yeah, it's a way of life for me now. So I don't really think about it all the time. So I can, you know. Think about that. I can
so
drink
you're
beer.
hanging loose right now.
I can drink beer and watch football.
Okay. Joanne, it's been nice talking to you.
Thank you. You
I'm
too.
not going to let you go. This is the end of this segment, no?
Sure.
So just let's figure out, the bottom line of our discussion is that beauty comes from confidence, which comes from knowing who you are. That's the way, that's the journey to beauty coming from where you are. So let's take that break and then we'll come back and have our next guest here, Delby Bragais. Ladies and gentlemen, stay watching. That's Joanne Weston, MBTI coach. We'll have another lady, Delby Bragais. She's the president of AICI, and we'll talk about beauty outside with Delby. Stay watching. This is Expert Insights. I'm your host, Raju Mandhyan. Good morning. Welcome back to Expert Insights. I'm your host, Raju Mandhyan. Today, this morning, on Expert Insights, we are talking about beauty inside and out. Inside and outside. Our first guest, Joanne Weston, spoke to us about beauty inside. Now we have a wonderful, good-looking guest who is a beauty queen by her rights, Delby Bragais. She's an image consultant. She is a wedding gown designer, a coach, and she's also the president of the AICI Philippines chapter. AICI's Association of Image Consultants International. Welcome to Expert Insights, Delby Bragais.
Welcome, Raju. And may I make a correction?
To my language, to my accent,
no,
to my hairstyle?
I'd love to be a beauty queen, but only in my dreams.
Oh, you love to be a beauty queen only in your dreams. But, hey,
no, but the chapter, AICI Philippines, is composed of a lot of women of great beauty. And I'm sure you've met a lot of them. They are the beauty queens.
All right, okay, I'll take your word for it, but I think people might have a different opinion. So, Delby, first describe the work you do. First, describe the external beauty. How do you go about it, or you want to describe the work first? Any which one?
Well, bottom line is, for me, beauty is substance and style.
Okay, let's talk about the style first.
Style? Style is your specific particular way of doing things. Like, this is my style.
Right.
And it's a little bit, I know it's a little bit quirky, and it's a little bit, well, sometimes it's not exactly like your classic take on what looks stylish, but I'm comfortable, and it makes me powerful when I'm in my element. So
what a little quirkiness helps you?
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Yeah. Great. We'll talk about quirkiness and beauty put together in a while. But tell me about AICI and your being president of it.
Okay, I'm so excited about AICI in the Philippines. AICI is the Association of Image Consultants International.
Right.
It's a worldwide organization of image professionals with chapters in the United States, in Europe, in Asia, and now in the Philippines.
And when you say now, as it like it's current, or it's been here for
It's current. It was chartered last July 1, 2011. And I'm so excited about it because I know that as a group we can make a difference for image consultants in our country, and we can change the world.
Make it more prettier, beautiful.
Well, in a sense, yes, but then again, beauty is inside and out.
Let's talk about outside. Let's not,
You really want to focus on the outside, Raj?
Stay on the one side of the debate. You know, we can't be crossing borders again and again. So AICI, what does it do when you say image consultants? Like, do you stop people on the street and say, by the way, you need a makeover?
We don't do ambush makeovers.
That's called ambush makeover? So there's such a thing called ambush makeover?
Yeah. Stop them on the street, in the supermarket, and the malls. But I would like to think that AICI image consultants are more of experts in appearance, behavior, and communication. So we call that the ABCs of image.
Appearance, behavior, and communication.
Appearance, behavior, and communication. So contrary to what you might think, that it's really all external. No, that's just like the tip of the iceberg. Appearance is basically, you know, just one segment. We do behavior and communication. So appearance covers impact in terms of your externals. It covers colors. Some colors make you look more beautiful. It makes you look thinner, more radiant compared to other colors. So also wardrobe. There are certain fashion styles that might be more flattering to your
Don't look at me, really don't look at me, you know. I buy this in United Kingdom.
Okay, fine. Fine. So, you know, the wardrobe, there are flattering styles and not flattering styles depending on your body type. So we also do fashion personality. So it runs the gamut of all externals from head to toe, accessorizing, styling, etc. So those are all aspects of appearance.
That's a huge thing, isn't it, Delby? I mean, all of EDSA, all of the main highway in the Philippines is about beauty, you know. Sharpen your nose, tuck in your belly, and elongate your hair and stuff like that.
True.
But it's big business. So how important is appearance compared to behavior and what was C? Communications.
Communication.
Okay. How important is it? How valid is it that we people invest so much energy and money and time in it?
Let us say you're an individual.
Okay,
you're
I am.
Female.
I'm
and
not.
it is so powerful to get you from where you are to where you want to be. You want to be in a relationship. First, you have to sort of like
attract,
connect, engage. Now, let's say you're a corporation. You want your employees to be able to make an impact. That's appearance, because professional presence and impact is very important. Like I said in my last in my last workshop, and believe me, this is for a corporation. You can sell without selling.
Well, that's what people should do.
Precisely, you can sell without selling, but to be able to do that, you have to be the total package. You have to be authentic, and you have to make an impression. So those are certain things that we as image consultants help you with.
Oh, so thus you're saying that the amount of energy, time, and money people spend in repackaging or packaging themselves is equally as important as how products or brands or logos or companies are packaged, just so that they stay in the mind's eye.
Absolutely. So whether you have personal or professional goals, or whether you're a corporation looking to have your employees make an impact and connect and develop relationships with potential clients or existing clients, you definitely have to invest in appearance. Because I always say, you cannot sell anything without selling yourself first. Am I correct, Raju?
I don't know if it's selling yourself is the statement. Maybe
buying trust.
Buying trust would be the right statement.
Correct. So if you cannot sell yourself in the minds of potential clients, you cannot sell your product.
Delby, so what part of my resources must I invest? Should one invest in external appearances, in appearances? How much of my energy, time, and money must I put in to make myself look good? How much goes into packaging? How much goes into substance? Let's go to substance now.
Well, substance, very important, because I'm assuming that all things being equal, the more attractive person will definitely get the help with the flat tire, will get the job, will get the promotion, all things being equal. So I'm assuming that in terms of substance or the technical skill set, you have it already. So it can be a pretty, like it can turn the tide.
Edge. It's a major
It's an edge,
advantage,
definitely. And if you can use the power of image, you can get to where you want to be faster.
So does beauty on the surface can get your foot inside the door?
Yes,
no?
it can.
So now let's go to the question, what will make you stay inside the door and deliver value?
Then that's already experience and the training and the technical know-how, etc. So I always use this analogy. We can show you to the door, but you have to step in.
So what's required to stay in, to provide value, to create value inside the door?
Then you have to have a mix. You have to have a mix of the technical skill set, the behavior, and the appearance too. So if you have both, then that's a really powerful combination, and it gives you the edge over the competition.
Then it makes you Miss Dynamic, no? Miss Dynamic. So now what is the procedure? Delby, so if I was, say, IBM or Coca-Cola or Apple, and I invite you in and I say, Delby, I need a makeover, image makeover for myself and for my team here. What's your method?
Well, first of all, I will conduct an assessment. Talk to the HR people, or talk to the people concerned, the specific department requesting, or if it's a corporate-wide initiative. HR, what are we looking at? How can I help you? How can I support you? What is your? I will have to ask you what your brand values are and where you want to go.
What kind of image do you want to create?
What image can I help you with, so that you can take your company where you want to go, and I presume ultimately impact the bottom line.
Absolutely. So, everything is about that, no?
Correct. So I would do an assessment first, and then I will design a program. Now, designing, creativity and innovation, it's not a monopoly of fashion. And I think my advantage is because I'm naturally creative. I love designing programs that are active, that's fun, and at the same time, they learn something. I don't want to put them to sleep.
Right.
So there was this program I was developing for one of the most creative banks in the Philippines, and I go, okay, guess what? There will be no numbers. Yay!
What does it mean?
No numbers, because after they do a lot of numbers and number crunching.
Because they're all
and stuff,
accountants and stuff.
Yeah, because this is a banking industry. So I just love fun stuff.
Yeah.
But I do give assignments, and I do give, like, things that you fill up, and
you do the little table work and individual work. There you go.
But as much as possible, a lot of the things are experiential and fun, but so, educational.
Delby, you made a statement that you're naturally creative. You made that statement. You made that claim, no? So people who have great style and great substance, or people who just have substance and no style, how do you provide them the creativity to do so? What is your step? I've seen people who look absolutely drab, but again, they have great performers. So how do you go about changing their mindset? Talk about the behavior. How do you convince me to be stylish every single day, at least my packaging?
I think as long as you, number one, show them the possibilities, what
the value,
can be, the value and inspiration. For me, personal stories, what happened to me, and showing them in terms of before and after photos, and actually doing makeovers and stuff. And when they see themselves, is this really me?
I can do that.
Like,
I can
this
be
was
that.
the person who looked like a nerd in the beginning. Now, look at her.
Frumpy.
I mean, so what I'm saying is, if you can show them that there is a way to level up, to optimize their God-given looks and gifts, why not?
Yeah, okay, so that's the step. show them what they can be, and then get them
Show
to it.
them
So
the
almost quite similar to
potential.
what Joanne was saying.
Same.
Take me from where I am to where I want to go.
Same. That's why I was really smiling.
I want you to hold this thought because I want to show the picture of the whole AICI group. We have a picture of all the practitioners. Do they all have same methods like you? Just coming up a picture of your gang, team at AICI.
Oh, yeah.
They're back,
Okay,
okay.
so I'm so proud of the whole team.
Right.
These are movers and shakers in the image industry in the
9 of
Philippines.
you.
Yes, and actually this was the 2011 to 2012 board.
Yeah.
And there's Julia Rubilios, Hemeline Escudero,
Yeah.
there's Kate Manalo Hernandez, who was a finalist in the Miss World, standing at the back. There's Vicky Santos Abraham, who's a stylist, great stylist.
I know the lady in the hat. There's two ladies in the hat. Yeah.
The one in the center, of course, is yours truly, and then there the tall.
Was any of them ever drab and frumpy looking before, or were they born like this? Were they naturally created? You were frumpy looking.
Oh, I am my own story. So I am a testament to the power of image. That's why when I talk, I really
wish
feel
you had
it.
a before picture. We
OMG! They're gonna close the television.
Oh, if we see you before.
It's really, I mean, you know, what I'm saying is like, bottom line.
Yeah.
I have seen the power of image. Okay. Bottom line. There's
there
Abby in the middle.
That's Abby Arenas. She's a Miss something?
She actually, we have two Binibining Pilipinas universe. Abby Arenas, the tall, statuesque person there, and then there's Karen Agustin Austria, the one seated with the nice long legs.
All right.
Carol Tan.
All right. Delby, sorry about that. Tell me this. What is happening currently with AICI? What's cooking? What's brewing? Yeah.
A lot is cooking. I think we're one of the most happening chapters in the whole wide world, and we're only 1 year old. Yeah. On the 29th of September, at the Raffles Design Institute, we're having the power of beauty and image.
Yeah, we'll show that slide in a minute.
Yeah.
Hang on. There.
So
wait, we'll show that slide when we talk about the 29th of September. Okay. So
we have that, and then we have an upcoming international conference. It's an educational international conference that the Philippine chapter is hosting.
When is this?
It's on January 25 and 26 at the Dusit Sunny Hotel.
It was just like the one you had in 2010?
Not really. Maybe in a sense, but this is the first for the Philippine chapter, and we're going to have international speakers coming up, and we're all very excited about that. So
good. Delby, share me. I have two questions for you. Number one, I'd like to bring you back to the question of beauty, whether it's really coming from outside or inside. You decide how you answer that. Not yet. But I want you to tell me one is that in the years that you have been in this industry, and who have you impacted the most? Is there a group of people or an individual who have been touched by Delby's hand and has become way much more beautiful inside and outside? Institution or individual?
Yes, definitely. And a lot of them actually are top-notch executives of a certain
Are you allowed to share names? Yeah?
No, I'm not going to say it, what it is.
Yeah.
But I have seen magnificent transformations, and I can tell you the industry. It's in the banking industry, and these are definitely not entry-level people. These are
C-level.
Yeah. And I've seen people like the next day, because it's usually like I do some two-day programs. The next day, oh my gosh, total transformation, more engaging. It affects them externally.
Yeah.
It affects them internally. So what I'm saying is, when you have a more engaging, impactful person, it's easier to connect. And when you can connect easier, you can sell.
So thus I have some hope. I have hope. Yeah.
Come on, Raj.
Looking good, yeah, with the suit. Oh, it came out. So now, tell me about beauty. Tell me about what is your belief system in it. You're creative, and you've changed from Miss so-and-so to Miss so-and-so. You've been the before girl, and now you're the after girl. So what's your theory on beauty? Where does it rise from, and where does one take it to?
For me, beauty is a state of mind.
Okay, so it's...
what I'm saying is, the way you feel about yourself, you can project outside. It's really substance and style.
It's never separated.
It's never separate because there is no one definition of beauty. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, and in my case, I think when I say substance and style, it's always with a purpose. It's always beauty with a purpose. So of course there's appearance. You have to look pleasing to the eye.
Right.
You have to make the impact and be attractive. But then again, can somebody be beautiful without being physically really beautiful, or born with natural beauty? And I would say that yes.
So this conclusion, it's a two-way street. It's a mix of both.
Yes,
you know? So
definitely.
you can't have beauty outside and not have inside. And if you have inside, you'll be able to build the one outside.
Yes.
So was that with a good conclusion on your statements?
Absolutely.
All right, Delby, good luck with AICI. Thank you very much for sharing your wonderful insights. And you look lovely. I really love those shoes. I wish the camera would. There you go, those shoes. And we'll come back and have... and we'll have Joanne come back and sit with us and conclude and wrap up this discussion.
Cool.
Good for you?
Yep.
Good for you. Thank you very much.
Thank
so
you.
that is Delby Bragais from AICI International, and we'll come back and talk to Joanne and Delby at the same time, talking about beauty inside, outside. I'm your host, Raju Mandhyan. Stay watching. Good morning. Welcome back to Expert Insights. I'm your host, Raju Mandhyan. I hope you're enjoying your Friday morning. We are talking about beauty inside, outside, with two wonderful human beings here. One of them, a lady called Joanne Weston, and she was talking about beauty inside. And of course, Delby Bragais from AICI. So ladies, thank you very much for your insights. And you said beauty comes from confidence, knowing from who you are. And you said it's a two-way street. Thus, you cannot separate substance from style. No? So is there something that I should have asked you and I haven't asked you as of now? Do you want to tell me something bright and beautiful about being beautiful?
Maybe. And it's actually to just pick up on something that Delby mentioned that I may not have been explicit about, but I think is so important, whether you're talking about inside or outside beauty, and that's authenticity. And so when I help people to identify their natural styles, I'm always at pains to point out that it's not a case of becoming someone else. You have to stay true to yourself, because otherwise it will just look weird. So I mean, you can speak better, but to the outside. But if you wear something that doesn't, it might be beautiful, but it's not you. It's wearing you than you're wearing it. And it's the same with personality, communication. You have to stay authentic, true to yourself, but still, develop other areas.
Grow.
Challenge yourself, stretch yourself.
That's one. Okay, what's your statement?
In connection with what Joanne said, I will always say you are most powerful when you are true to yourself. You are most powerful when you're authentic. It doesn't matter if it's on a personal plane or professionally. If you are true to yourself and you dress that way, you express yourself that way, and all of your nonverbal communication is all aligned, then you are most powerful, you are most effective.
Great, I love it. So authenticity, that's the word, no? So we also call it congruence, inside, outside, no? Now, one question very quickly, how will I ever know? What will be my indicator saying that I'm out of sync with myself? That means I'm not being me. When will I know, and how will I stop myself from doing that or being that? How will I know? When will the bell ring and say, Raju, you are being a fake, you are being not yourself, you're being plastic, as we say in Philippines. What's your cue? How do you know, and how do you change?
So speaking from a personality perspective, when you don't behave or you don't feed the needs of your true personality type, you feel the effects physically. So there is a physiological reaction when we're stressed, and by not feeding the needs of your natural inborn preferences, that causes stress.
And so you'll break up in spots. There'll be words
and actually, we all have different reactions. So I think the first step would be to be observe yourself and think, okay, what is the physiological sign? So mine is kind of my throat kind of dries up.
Okay.
It feels a bit kind of constricted. And that's a sign, okay, there's something not quite right.
You're not in alignment.
There's something not quite right. And often it's when you are not being true to your
Good.
to your
So there'll be
processes.
some physical
There's some sign,
cues.
Or you might feel very tired. So when you're stressed, tired, just you know, there's something not quite right.
You won't be
Something
smiling
uncomfortable,
right
exactly.
too. You won't be smiling. Delby, your take on this quickly?
I think there's stagnant energy, and when it comes to like your career, you're stuck, or you're not moving forward.
Right.
Because I'm not really where I'm supposed to be. I'm not me. I'm not expressing myself truly. So, you know, I had this feeling like last year. I just felt that I'm really truly in my element. I'm so comfortable. And you know what? I was just saying, if you're facilitating a class, or like, you know, whether they're top level executives or not, they can feel you.
They can
sense if you're authentic. And if you are authentic, if you say, you know what, all the shirt and tie combinations are all wrong, I think you have to invest in a new wardrobe. Boom. I've had people like the next day, within 24 hours, you know, that's what did you do? He went out and bought 3 shirts, 2 pants, 3 ties, etc. But they can feel you. Whether you're a trainer or whatever, a fashion designer, you have to be true to yourself.
Ladies, thank you very much. Thank you for your beautiful insights. So I get it now. You got to be authentic, and you got to be in sync. So you'll see signs of it on your physiology and also in your life, because it will come to a dead stop if you're not being right. So, salamat. And you want to announce that thing now, the beauty show on September 29th. Your website and your website. And this is the time to do it.
Okay.
That's the camera, and just go plug.
Okay, well, for me, it's not really a website. If you want to know what's the latest, I usually post it on my FB page. So like my page, it's Delby Bragais for North Road. And September 29, the Power of Beauty and Fashion Raffles Design Institute.
1 to 5 p.m. Great. Joanne?
And so if you would like to find out more about your personality type, either for corporate or on a personal level, then you can contact me. It's my email address, Mimosa Solutions. That's my website.
All right. Great. So there we go. Thank you very much. So thank you for watching Expat Insights. I hope you have a great weekend ahead of you. Next week on Expat Insights, same time, Friday morning, we'll be talking to Professor John Navarro of the University of Asia Pacific, and we'll be talking about strategic planning and management. This is your host, Raju Mandhyan. Good night and mabuhay.